Live from clickorlando.com, this is News 6 at 5:30. This is a News 6 Plus takeover. Here now is Lisa Bell and Candace Campos with Florida Foodie.
Hello and welcome back to Florida Foodie. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Candace Campos, and we've had a mix of entrepreneurs, brick and mortar, food trucks. We're gonna basically put all that together into one. This gentleman has owned a food truck, a very popular food truck in Orlando, and now opening up his first brick and mortar just late last year.
We are serving up something so special on
so
today's
good.
Florida Foodie. Our mouths are watering as we speak. We are so happy to be joined today by Wess St. Victor of St. Vic's Smoke Shack. Thank you so much for coming in today and bringing all of this amazing food.
No, thank you so much for inviting me to come.
Believe me, it's our pleasure.
It was funny because when we were walking into this podcast room, it is like the cartoons when they smell like a pie on a windowsill. I felt like I was floating in here with this bread.
You can smell it all throughout the News 6 studio right now. This is amazing. You have now opened a brick and mortar store in Orlando. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? How did you get started cooking?
Well, originally I was born in Haiti, moved to Chicago when I was 8 years old, and right around 15, my parents moved down to Winter Park. So I've been living in that Winter Park area ever since.
And what made you decide to open up a food truck first and then an actual brick and mortar store?
Well, it started out once I first moved down here. It started out in the search for barbecue, and I couldn't find really good barbecue. It was prior to the days of Four Rivers, and so I just started to make it in my backyard, and then one thing led to another, and I just got hooked on barbecue.
And we can smell and see why.
Right, and so how long did you have the food truck for before you decided you were going to make the jump to brick and mortar?
We started out, my son and I started out at just with a couple pit barrels at a gas station. Then from that point on, we progressed to getting a food truck, and we've been running the food truck for a little bit over 7 years. And we just recently, right around October of last year, that's when we got like the small brick and mortar over there in the OBT and Princeton area.
So when you started out serving up this food at a gas station, what was the response and the reaction like?
Well, a lot of folks was like, our flavors are very different from what you're accustomed to with barbecue, because we introduce a lot of like our Caribbean heritage in our barbecue.
Yeah.
If you look at the chicken is our play on the Maho style flavored chicken. Our pulled pork is different. We smoke our pulled pork and then we let our pulled pork rest to really let the wood, the wood flavor infuse in it. Then we would take our pulled pork, we pull it, season it, and then we smoke it again to get more smoke flavor. So our barbecue tastes a little bit different than like your average places that you get barbecue from around here.
How did you learn how to do all of that? I mean, I open up like a cookbook and try to make something in a crock pot and it turns out to be a disaster. How did you develop that process?
I wasted a lot of money. So I wasted a lot of money, but in the process, you fine tune your skills. And I tried my food on a lot of people at work. Every work party, I was trying to cook. Every church event, I was trying to cook. So it was always like, you find one thing that worked, you say, well, I'm going to improve that. I'm going to improve that. But in the process, you're wasting a lot of money, and my kids got tired of trying barbecue.
I mean, and it's tender loving care. I mean,
Yes.
when you talk about the smoking world, so how long on average do you smoke different meats?
My brisket and pulled pork on Wednesdays, you'll catch me at my smoker right around 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oof. You're like a baker.
Yeah, so we get there bright and early on Wednesdays, get the pulled pork and the brisket going for the next day. The chicken would take us anywhere between 2.5 to 3 hours. The ribs is right around like 3.5 to 4 hours just to get it tender enough to cook it, properly, and then we let everything rest.
So you said the brisket and the pork, you start a day before.
The day before, right.
The day before. So we will smoke our brisket, and that, in all actuality, I start to prep my brisket on Monday for Thursday. So I work with my kids. My oldest daughter, after she gets out of college, she runs to the shop to help me run the shop. On the weekends, I have my other 2 daughters and my son, depending on what they have going on, they come and help out at the shop as well too. So it's, just teaching the kids to work, keeping the kids around me, and it's a blessing. I hang out with my daughter 3 days a week, my 18-year-old daughter. Who else could say that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a college kid hanging out that much. That's
Yeah.
special.
So
you said she used your rock.
That's
Yeah.
my girl. That's my girl. So she handles all my she handles some of my social media stuff for me. She handles my Uber, my DoorDash. She handles the numbers. So she does a lot of stuff where I don't have the time to do it. She pays attention for it.
What great experience for her too.
Right.
What is she studying in college? Is it business?
No, she's going to nursing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to nursing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a proud moment to see your kids helping you, but also, living out their dreams as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a couple kids, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're a huge family. So my wife and I have 8 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 8 of them. So from 18 to 1. Yeah.
And that is a lot to just, juggle 8 kids, let alone to be a business owner and a restaurant owner. How do you balance all of that?
I am extremely lucky. I married a wonderful woman. So not only does she balance 95% of all of that stuff, she also homeschool all of them as well too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, when something goes wrong, that's when I get involved. So I hang out with the kids. If somebody is doing something wrong. Okay, wait till daddy get home, then daddy will talk to you. But she runs the whole household.
Yeah.
Yeah, she runs the whole household, take pressure off of me for me to go to work, because I also have another job and then run this business.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Do you cook at home too?
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I do. Yeah, I won't.
So it's a real feat to be able to have a restaurant business and have one that has stayed open for as long as yours. Why do you think you have been able to find so much success, even weathering the pandemic and hurricanes, and no matter what it is, you've still been able to stay open through all that?
We have a good, strong, loyal customer base. Like I said, we started in Audubon Park. Then we went to Oakland. And we have some of our people from those areas that follow us all around. Wow. The young lady that runs the Audubon Park community, Jennifer Marvel, her and her husband come to see us at least once a month.
Wow.
So we have our folks from Oakland that still come down to see us. Our folks from Kerford West that still come over to see us still today. So we have a loyal fan base.
Yeah. Once you try it, you're hooked.
That's the hope.
Tell us what you brought today.
Well, today what I got our pulled pork sandwich. I have some ribs, and I have our maho flavored chicken.
I like
and also we have collard greens on the table as well too.
All right. So when you look at all your plates and all your sides and whatnot, what's your favorite side? Because I always never know what to pick when it comes to sides.
I love
His head is go back and forth.
I love the rice and beans. We do a Creole rice and beans, but I didn't have a chance to make it today because my daughter makes it, but she was in school today, and so she didn't have time to run down to the shop to make it.
We'll forgive her.
So my favorite thing is the rice and beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now with your menu, is it a standard menu those 3 days a week, or is it just you have what you have until you run out?
We have what we have till we run out.
Okay.
Yeah. Because everything takes so much time to make, so I can't, we can't keep on making brisket and chicken as we go. So once it's cooked, we make a set amount, and once it runs out, it runs out.
Okay. And tell us about, you mentioned the rice and beans and the collard greens. What are some of the other sides that you typically offer?
We also have baked beans.
Okay.
And we have our mac and cheese. And we have coleslaw as well too.
Okay.
Stay with us as we dig into some of these sides and some smoked meats.
Delicious.
Tender.
Florida Foodie continues after the break. Welcome back to Florida Foodie. We are sitting down with a man behind Vic's Smoke Shack and talking about how he went from food truck to restaurant, all with a bunch of help from his family. So let's get back to it.
I'm going to attempt to cut into this.
Go ahead, I'll have the
now,
other
do
half.
you always have your pulled pork sandwich with coleslaw?
Yes,
Okay.
it comes with coleslaw. Typically, we put it on the side because a lot of people don't like coleslaw, so neither did I. But that's why we came up with the kind of coleslaw that we did. It's an herb-based coleslaw.
Okay, versus a mayonnaise base?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it does mayonnaise in it, but we add some different type of herbs that you find in Caribbean cooking again, just to make it taste a little different.
I've never had spicy
I'm going to try them.
collard greens before.
Really?
Yeah. The collard greens I have are just, they're good size, but this I would put
These
this
are
on
delicious.
stuff.
Thank you.
These are absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
I like a little
kick.
heat with my
Yes,
collard
it's not-
greens. Yeah.
I hope it's not too much.
No,
it's too much
not at
steak.
all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
There's some meat in your collard greens,
Yes.
which I like.
Yes. So there's a particular part of like the ribs. I trim it.
Wow.
And I double smoke it.
What?
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next for the smoke shop? What's next for you
Well,
guys?
the hope is that we continue to grow in the area, because like the area where we are at right now in Orlando is changing a lot.
You're talking like the packing district.
Yeah, the packing district
Right.
is changing a lot. So what we're hoping is that at some point we are able to get a bigger kitchen, because we want to introduce different stuff.
At your location on OBT, which is near the packing district in Orlando, is there room for seating, or is this more takeout? How
It's
does it
more
work?
takeout,
Okay.
but in the process, I'm trying to see if I can get some tables out there when someone come, they want to sit down and eat it, that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that whole area is just exploding.
It's
People are moving
exploding,
in.
yes.
All right, you ready for the pork sandwich?
Yeah.
Do you recommend this with a sauce or just as
shoot it.
is?
I already put a little bit of sauce on it for
Okay.
you guys. So,
What kind of sauce did you use?
well, I use a little bit of both sauce on
Okay.
it.
Oh, you mix it up.
I mixed it up.
Delicious.
Tender. Oh God, this is so good.
It is really good.
What do you love about the pork?
What I love about the pork,
Like you like putting the coleslaw on it. You're like all that. You do all the fixings.
because when you put the coleslaw on it, it actually give you a different flavor profile.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
you
there is
taste-
something different that I'm trying to identify.
Yes,
It might be the mix of the.
The herbs or something
Yes.
in the coleslaw.
Yes. So that's how we serve our pulled pork, and also our brisket is with the.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Make
got
it a mess.
it's to me it's more like fresh and light. When I have a pulled pork sandwich, sometimes it's kind of heavy.
You need to like.
But
sit
this
back
feels
and
like I'm actually
"Ugh."
having like something healthy for me.
Yes. That's why that's why we mix. That's why like when I was thinking this through properly, we make the coleslaw in it, and then what we do, I chop up basil.
That's what it is. It's
It's the
basil.
Yes, to give it that freshness to it.
Wow.
So like along with like the coleslaw mix, I chop up like fresh basil.
Basil's normally not in coleslaw. Though.
I know. Yeah.
So that's
Or barbecue.
or barbecue.
or barbecue. That's where your Caribbean kind of feel comes in,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
The basil.
I might add that to my repertoire when I do. When I do a
It's,
little
it's,
basil.
it's a little different, yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing that freshness into it, so it's not
Yeah.
it's not the heavy meat, all the fattiness in the pork, but you get
Yeah.
that little freshness that
I
just
feel like
cut
I'm
it
having a caprese salad right now,
Yeah.
but it's a pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can mix up the dough. I mean, that might be a good sandwich coming up. So you're from the Caribbean originally. I mean, what does your family think about you doing barbecue and having that twist with your own culture?
Well, barbecue from the culture I'm from is not something that exists.
Right.
It doesn't exist. So it's one of those things where, like my dad referred to this as like my American dream. So they're supportive. They're very supportive of it. And I learned what a brisket was maybe 8 years ago.
Wow.
I never seen one before.
You were
in my
just,
life.
you just
He
wanted
came
a
to the United
brisket.
States, fell in love with barbecue,
Yeah.
and said Orlando needs
Yeah, it was just
great barbecue.
What happened was my backyard loved my wife. She just kept on buying me different type of smokers, different type of grills.
That's nice
So
of her.
it got to the point where my
was
yard,
sending you a
yeah,
message.
Yeah, she was.
my yard looked like Sanford and Son after a while. So then she kicked me out the backyard. Then a couple guys at work told me, they're like, why are you killing bugs? You need to be doing barbecue. So and that's when this whole thing got started, like testing out different things at work for the 4th of July. Like
Perfect barbecue holiday.
Yes.
like 95% of my church was in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, just eating barbecue, and everybody's like,
When
why?
this is over, let us know your church, and we're going to start attending to
Yeah.
it.
Let us know.
So and that's how it all got started. Was like cooking for church, cooking for work. I mean, if there was an occasion, I was cooking barbecue.
That's how a lot of people get started. John Rivers, you mentioned them earlier. He started by cooking for people who he goes to church with. So that's fantastic.
Everyone comes together at least once a
Right?
week, right?
Yeah.
Might as well enjoy some good food.
I want to try some of these ribs next.
Okay. Which one? Which
yes,
sauce?
yes.
Since you like the Carolina style, you should try it with
Okay.
that. But I always recommend you take the first bite without sauce
Okay.
first to see.
Deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deal. All right. If you're listening to this on our podcast, you need to
You're
go to-
missing out.
You're missing out on the visuals of this stuff.
These are amazing. These are
you.
so good. So tender, easy to eat. Ribs are not the easiest thing to eat.
They're so the aroma. Would you like one?
Fantastic.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we're just like eating in front of you.
Go ahead
So
and enjoy yourself.
it clearly seems there is a rub on here.
Yes, there's a
Do
wet.
you make that?
Yes,
Okay.
I put a wet rub and a dry rub on this.
Tell us the
goes
difference.
first? Yeah.
And what goes into
Well,
that.
at first I was using mustard as a binder. Then I realized mustard does not hold a flavor. So I came up with a mix. Again, I'm big on herbs, like an herb mix as a binder. Then I put my dry rub on it. And I felt that it gave me a more of a robust flavor. Yeah.
That's where you're talking about your trial and errors and trying
Trial
to.
and errors, yeah.
Now I'm trying some of your molasses barbecue
molasses-
sauce, which I've never had before.
This molasses barbecue sauce is a bomb. Wes, this is really good.
Thank you. So it has a little
It's
bit,
kind of like sweet with little heat.
and there's a little bit of hint of ginger in it. Yeah.
So far, everything I've had has been refreshing.
Thank you.
Right? This is different
doesn't make
barbecue.
sense.
It's
Yes.
delicious barbecue, but it's not something that we have had before.
Well, because when you think of barbecue, you're thinking heavy. Just piling it on,
Yeah.
meat after meat. But everything has a little bit of a ginger, of a basil, of a.
Yes.
there's
The
some
guys in the
twist.
control room told me I wasn't going to be able to do the news after this, that I'd need a nap. But I feel like I can
I
do
don't.
the
That's
news.
not the case with this one. So I mean, you're now brick and mortar. You see these people coming in from the gas stations from back in the day, from your food truck back in the day. What's that feeling like seeing the community coming in?
Yeah, those repeat customers.
Those repeat customers
You know what they're going to
enjoying
get
their
when you see them
food.
walking up.
Yes.
What is that feeling like? I just feel like you put so much love into it.
Yes.
I have developed a relationship with most of my customers.
Yeah.
Okay, we know each other's names. They ask me about the kids, about the wives.
Right.
I know about them and their children and so on and so forth. So it's essentially you building a family. I remember the first major pest control company I ever worked for in Florida. They trained us just to do that. Develop a personal relationship with all your customers, and that's what I carry on to this business. Yeah, I develop.
It's important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important.
I mean, but besides the food, I mean, you want good food, but you also want good service. You want to
Yes,
feel
it's
welcome.
the whole experience.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. All right, you ready to try the chicken?
Let's go.
What are you going to try?
I'll try a drumstick.
A drumstick?
I don't know why I did.
I thought you were doing a wing. Like,
Oh yeah, that is. I guess
That's
that's
what I
a
thought
wing.
so too.
Okay, fine. I'll go with the wing.
you want a wing? I
Yeah.
feel like the drumstick might be easier right now.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to go with this one.
Okay. Deal.
Again,
I almost
sauce
did
or
the
no sauce? Try it
yeah.
first.
Try it with that
try it with
sauce
that
first.
sauce. Okay.
Okay.
Oof, we'll go.
Really good. Really moist. Delicious. Again.
Different flavor.
Yes, that's what we go for. In that it's like we're trying to get a different flavor from all the meats.
Does it have like a little almost citrus, like lemony or something?
Yes, that's the majo. That's the
Okay.
majo flavoring. Yeah, majo is real big in Cuban cooking and also Hispanic cooking.
This is amazing. Yeah, really good, really good. So tell me exactly how I can find you.
We are right there on OBT near Princeton.
Okay.
So we are on OBT in Princeton at the Sunoco gas station.
On the west side of OBT.
Yes.
Roll your windows down and just follow the
just follow the
scent, and it
scent.
will
That's
lead
smart.
you right there.
That's
yeah.
smart.
That's wonderful. And then online. You have a lot of followers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. So online, you find us at St. Vic Smoke Shack on Facebook and also on Instagram.
And you also do catering.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do. So we do catering throughout the week. So if somebody call, they have a party on a Monday.
Is there
or
a minimum
Tuesday,
maximum?
I'll work whatever you have. Yeah. I'll work with whatever you have. If you're doing a party for 10 people, you give me a call, you're going to get served for 10 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a 6-year-old birthday party. This would go down real well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Wess St. Victor, thank you so much for joining us. And check him out online. Go to the new brick and mortar store on OBT. It is fantastic. You will not be disappointed.
No, not at all.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Florida Foodie. Don't forget, you can catch us every Wednesday on News 6 at 5:30 or watch anytime you want on the News 6 Plus app for your smart TV.